Hello, welcome to the channel. This is one requested video from one of my subscribers who wanted to have some more information about millets. So some of you might know that the year 2023 was declared as the International Year of the Millets by the Food and Agricultural Organization, the FAO, which is part of the United Nations organization. So millets gaining a lot of importance on the international scene, and the purpose behind making 2023 the year of the millets was to create awareness. So let's start by looking at what are millets. Millets are a group of small seeded grasses that are cultivated for their grains, which are used as food. So they are also a family of grasses, but the same family as wheat or barley or rice for that matter, but it's a total different family. Well, these grains were once cultivated for food, especially in parts of the world like Asia and Africa, but then somehow they became lost. With most people in the Western countries only know millets as bird food and fodder for farm animals. But I would say birds are quite intelligent because they pick these grains that are so nutrient dense and it's so packed of goodness for your health. So before we dive into the benefits of millets, let's look at some of the common types of millets. Of course, these are just a few to name here. There is a whole plethora of grains which fall under categories of millet. The common ones that you're going to hear are pearl millet, known as bajra. This is the Indian name for pearl millet. Then you have the finger millet, which is also a very common one. In India, it's known as ragi. Very well known for its high calcium content, and it is used very commonly in South Indian cuisine. Pearl millet and finger millets are maybe the more cultivated ones, but then there are multiple others like brown top millet, barnyard millet. I have some recipes of barnyard on my channel. Then you have kodo millet. Foxtail is another one which is very good, and then there's little millet. Then you know millets and the names. Let's look at some of the benefits. Tiny grains, but they have mighty big benefits in terms of our health. First and foremost, millets are naturally gluten-free, and this makes them a choice for people with celiac disease or having some kind of gluten intolerance or gluten sensitivity. Number two, millets have a low glycemic index. What that means is that it does not spike the blood sugar level. It takes time to be digested, and this in turn means if the sugar doesn't spike in your blood, then insulin doesn't spike. So that is very, very commendable for people living with diabetes mellitus type 2. Third, very high in fiber. The high fiber content of millets helps in digestion, helps to maintain bowel health, and can contribute to weight management and promoting a feeling of fullness. So you feel more full, so you don't overeat, and over time it does help you in your weight management. Let's have a high nutrient profile. They are nutrient rich. Millets are packed with vitamins, minerals, especially the B group of vitamins, iron, magnesium, phosphorus, and you'll also see that some varieties are very high in calcium as well. One more health benefit is that millets have antioxidant properties. Millets contain antioxidants that can help combat oxidative stress and reduce the risk of chronic diseases in the body. Millets are also quite low in oxalates compared to other grains, for example quinoa, and that means you can consume it safely and it will not compromise your kidney health. Scientists have worked on the nutrient composition of millets, and they have compared in a scientific controlled manner. So per 100-gram portion of the food, we have rice, wheat, maize, and then we have the millets. And they have compared the macronutrients like protein, fat, carbs, and then some of the minerals and vitamins as well. I'll look at the protein profile to start with. Rice, wheat, and maize have around 10% of by weight is protein. It is not much difference, but it might be a little higher, for example, for foxtail millet and barnyard millet compared to rice, for instance. So protein content is comparable. If we go to fiber, for example, for rice, that is also the brown variety, you will get 1 gram of fiber per 100 gram of brown rice consumed. But look at foxtail, 6.7. It is quite high compared to even wheat and maize. And look at barnyard, 13.6. That's amazing. So definitely a better choice here. In terms of carbs, barnyard, they are comparable, but barnyard, for example, has very low carb compared to the others. In terms of calcium, look at finger millet, which is ragi. I mentioned that before, known for its calcium content. Who can't have dairy products like vegans, and there are very limited choices of where we can source the calcium. If you consume ragi in some way, it will help you maintain your bone health and keep your bone density. In terms of iron, pearl millet has quite high, and again barnyard, quite a high amount of iron. So I try to highlight some of the key differences in terms of protein, carbs, fiber, and of course calcium and iron here. So those were the health benefits when we consume it, how it's going to help our bodies. Millet crop does not require a lot of water. It is called a rain-fed crop, and it can grow in water-stressed and arid geographical areas. To grow in places that are water-stressed. Advantage is that naturally this crop is tolerant to pests. So all kinds of pests that you would have to control otherwise using pesticides, which are chemicals again, and they leach into our water supplies, they leach the cost of production. There is no need for any kind of genetic modification to the crop to make it resistant to pests. Third advantage is in less fertile soil, so we don't need to add fertilizers to boost growth. On millets for this video, I came across some terms describing the millets. So they had positive and neutral millets. Positive and neutral millets were brought forward by a scientist by the name of Dr. Kader Wali. Dr. Wali has dedicated his life to reviving and promoting millets. He is also known as the Millet Men of India. In his research, he found that there are some 5 millets that can be considered as positive millets because consuming them has been able to improve certain health conditions. The positive millets are the foxtail, barnyard, the kudo, brown top, and little millet. And another reason they are called positive is because their fiber content is very high. So anything that has any millet that has 8 to 12% of fiber content is considered positive millet. Neutral millets. Neutral millets have a I'll add this because you might come across these terms like positive and neutral millets if you are reading online for your own research. So, how do we eat millets? Make sure you're buying unpolished millets. Avoid those that are hulled or polished, because then hull means they are removing that outer coat which has all the fiber and some antioxidants also as part of it. So that would take away from the good positive aspects of millets. And whenever you decide to cook it, please do wash and soak it for a good uh, 8 hours to overnight. And millets is versatile. There are a bunch of recipes available online that you can go to, and even on the portal for Food and Agricultural Organization, under the millets of the Millets Year website, they have a recipe book. I don't know if we can buy it or download it. Oh yeah, we can download it. There you go. So United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations, and you have the millets recipe book. Got recipes of starters, main dishes, snacks, desserts,